Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. In today's video I'm playing with P.Louise coloured bases. So obviously I've used the violet on my eyes today. So I bought the basic pack, the winter edition, which is to me more spring colours. So you've got the purple, the blue, the green and the pink. I did purchase the black as well, which is called Badder Black Base. And I did get the 01, so I've already got 0 and 2 base, so I wanted something in between, so I've got that one as well. So if you want to see how I achieve this look on my eyes using this vivid violet, then just keep watching. Oh, and I am doing a full face today, so if you just want to look at the eyes, I'll pop the timestamp in the description bar for you. Okay, so I'm starting off. I've already put some eyebrow pencil on, so I've used my Anastasia in blonde just to create some shape there, and I've also primed my face. I've used my Tarte Clean Slate smoothing primer that I've always used to fill in the pores around my cheek area, in those wrinkles there, a little bit on my chin. And as always, it's still hot in Australia in March. We're in autumn at the moment, so I'm still using my MURAD Oil Control Mattifier, which is absolutely brilliant for stopping oil come through. And I'm going to use my favorite ever foundation today, which is the Dior Face and Body. So I've got two here. In the height of summer I used a 3N, which you can see is a little bit darker there, and this is the 2N. So neutral colours. So what I'm going to do today is just go with the 3N around the perimeter. So I'm using my Guerlain foundation brush. Oh, it's so pretty, and it's just tiny enough for me to get into the little spaces. I don't have much space here, and really sort of around your eyebrows. So I'm going to pop the 3N around the perimeter, up into my ear area there, so you can see the space that I don't have in between my eyebrows and my hairline. So it's a nice small brush, very soft. Now this foundation has become my favourite. It's just such a natural finish. I'm still wearing the MURAD Oil Control Primer, but I find this just doesn't let any oil through on its own. I have worn it on some occasions without any primer underneath, and it still works brilliantly. A little bit comes through, but just nothing like anything else that I wear. Okay, so that's the 3N. You can see it is quite dark. And then going in with the 2N on the same brush, and I'll just go into the perimeter area, interior area of my face. Still not quite up underneath my eye area. I'm going to go in with a couple more products there later on, so I don't want too much under my eyes. And just over where the two colours meet, just sort of patting, stamping, stippling that area. Okay, so going in as always with my Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector, which is just beautiful underneath my eyes. I just can't wear a concealer. I'm using a Morphe E20 brush, which is really nice and soft. I was in Sephora the other day and I had to try Tarte Shape Tape. It's just world renowned basically for being the best concealer for underneath your eyes, and it's just too dry. It's way too dry for me for under my eyes. So this just stays moist. It doesn't dry out and emphasize the wrinkles underneath my eyes. So this is why I like this product so much. So I'm just patting that in right into the inner corner, basically right down the sides of your nose there. And then I go in with my MAC Prep and Prime in Radiant Rose, which is in a little pencil type. It's a really light pink, so I go in just a little bit lower down. I go in and do my nose, try and get that straight, which I never can seem to. I've got too much on there now. I can never seem to get my nose straight. And then just with a Zoeva, this is a 110 face shape brush, which is very soft as well. I start below my eye there and then just gradually bring that up a little bit towards my eye. Definitely got too much product on my nose. And then I just grab my foundation brush, go down the sides of your nose there just to slim that in, because I do have a little bit too much product on my nose there. It's making it a little bit too wide. And then over those demarcation lines, just sort of stipple. Just so you don't have that line there. Now I have started using this. This is a Pixi product. I'm pretty sure it's for your eyes. I can't remember the name of it. It's a crayon. Undercover crayon in peach, I think it's called, and I'm just going to use that just to try and mask that little mark, which is a burst blood vessel on my eye there. As you can see, I'm just really lightly touching over that and it's gone. So that's perfect for that little mark. Now I'll go in with another Pixi product, which is Crayon Combo. I go in with that nude colour around my nose there and around my lips. And then I'll just grab a really lightly dampened beauty blender and then just blend that in. That just gives it a little bit more brightness towards the centre of your face. Okay, so I'm going to go in with my bronzer. So today I'm going to use the Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel. Now when I first looked at this product, I thought, oh, I think it's going to be a bit too orangey for me, but it's really not. It's really quite a neutral colour, which is, love it. So I'm going to use a MAC, what is this called? The number's off it again, so I'll pop it in the description box for you. So I'm just going to swirl my brush in there and then just go in and basically just pop that product down. So I'm basically just placing that product or stamping it in where I want it. I do want a little bit of colour up here. So I'm not contouring as such, I'm just adding a little bit more depth to my face. This brush is perfect for going along your jawline there. And then I'll go in with a larger brush. This is a Sigma F50, I'm pretty sure, yeah. And then I'll just blend that in circular motions, just very lightly. Okay, so for blush today, I'm using, again, you will have seen this on my channel before, by Terry Cellularose Blush Glace in Rose Melba. So it's an absolutely beautiful pink colour, really light pink. So I'm just popping a little bit on my hand there. And then I'm just going to go in with my fingers and pat that in where I want it. So basically on my cheeks there and just up on top of that bronzer. A little bit low there. And then I'm just going to grab another stippling brush and just go over that so it's nice and even. And then for highlighter today, I don't want too much more colour because I'm going to have really quite bright eyes today and I've got a fair bit of blush on there, so I'm going with my RMS Living Lumiser. And this is basically just a clear sort of colour, but it just gives a beautiful luminosity to your cheek. So once again on my hand, and then I'll just pat off a little bit on my finger and then just go in those areas where I want that highlight to be. So you can see that's just luminosity basically. It's not a huge sheen and it's not bright sparkly glitter. Oops. So next up I'm just going to do a little bit of contouring on my nose and just in between my lip there and below my lips. So I've got the Kevyn Aucoin Sculpting powder in medium, and this is a two-faced contour brush, just on the very tip there. I'm just going to go down my nose, right up into my eyebrow area. I'll just blend that downwards. So in between the Cupid's bow there, just below that lighter colour line that we put in earlier, just sort of more in the centre, just to give a shadow. Okay, so time to move on to the eyes. Now I just want to show you quickly this new palette from P.Louise. So the first one I did get was the black, so it's batter black. I really don't want that shine on there, so, and it does come with the P.Louise brush as well, which I'm going to use in a second on my eyes. So I'm really quite interested to use this black. I think it'll be great for a really dark smoky eye. So that's the product there, and that's the brush as well. And then also I did get a number 1. I do already have the 0, which is white, and then 2, which is just more of a salmony colour, but then the 1 is just a bit more of a light pink colour. So I got the 1 as well, just for really light coloured looks. And then this is the base with all the different colours in it. So it's called Basic Winter Edition. So it's a beautiful package. Obviously I won't be keeping it, it's just a bit too big. So you open it up and it's really pretty inside. And then you've got your 4 winter colours, which I really think are more spring colours for me. So you've got your purple and a green and a pink and a blue, and they're all absolutely beautiful. So today I'm going to be using the purple, which is called Vivid Violet. So I'm going to give that a go. Now I've never worn purple eyeshadow in my entire life, so I'm going to try today and see how it goes. Okay, so first up I'm going to use the number 1 with the, I'm just going to use a concealer brush. This is a Dose of Colours concealer brush, and I'm just going to use the one just in the crease area and just above. So right up around about there on both eyes. I might have a little bit too much, I'm just going to pat that off. And then right up underneath the brow bone, out as far as you intend to put eyeshadow, and then just patting that. I'm just going to go back to my method I usually use, which is the Beauty Blender, just to smooth that out a little bit. And then I'm going to use the actual P.Louise brush and go into the Vivid Violet. So we'll see how this goes. So a little bit on my brush there. Beautiful colour. Now I have hooded eyes, so I do go out a little bit more in almost a straight line out here. So I do want most of that hood to have some colour on it. Just try and disguise it just a little. So I've just got a feeling that if you're putting a colour of the same shade over the top, it's just going to make it more vibrant. How can it not? So I'm looking forward to seeing how these work. Okay, that's about the right shape for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the other eye, and I'll be back in a flash. It is a beautiful purple colour. I really don't mind it. For saying I don't like purple. Okay, reasonably even. I've got really uneven eyes. So I'll just wipe that off and we'll pop that aside. So I'll go in with, today I'm going to use the Dose of Colours Ice Cream palette, which is gorgeous. Now I haven't used the purple in here. I looked at it and went, oh no, I'm never going to use that purple, but today I will use the Lavender Honey, and then I'm going to use Berries and Cream as a transitional blending colour, which is a really light pink, and then I'll use the Blueberry Swirl. Okay, so first up I'm going in with a Dose of Colours blending brush, and I'm going to go into the Berries and Cream, and I just want to go right around the outside of that base and just blend the edge there. Now it's not a really dark colour, it's really quite light. All it's really doing is just blending that edge. As you can see the difference between that one and that one now. And don't forget the outside edge there. I just think if you blend this first before you put in the powder product down, or the purple powder shadow, just be a little bit easier, I'm assuming. That just blends out like a dream, that base. Beautiful. I'm actually in love with this purple. No, that's nuts. That base is really, really nice. Okay, so I'm going to go into the purple Lavender Honey on a Too Faced All Over Shadow Brush and just basically pack that product on my lid. So just a little bit more packing towards the lash line there. And as I get up, I'm just doing a little bit less heavy-handed. And then what I'm going to do is just go back in with the Dose of Colours and the Berries and Cream and just go right over that edge again. It's really quite easy to get a really vibrant colour with these bases. I can't wait to try the others actually. The pink, the blue, the green. I mean, this is my least favourite colour. I thought I'd try it first as a little bit of a challenge. Okay, so that's quite blended out there. So now I'm going to go in with a Sigma E45 small tapered blending brush, and then I'll go into that Blueberry Swirl colour. So just a little bit on the tip there. And I want to go into the outer corner. So I'm basically just creating that sideways V there. A little bit more of a darker colour. I'm just going to really lightly take that through the socket area of my eye. I just want to deepen that up just a touch more. I'm going to go in with the E21, which is a really tiny brush, and I just want to go in basically before that edge of that blend there. And just add a little bit more depth, probably about halfway across. I think I might just bring that in just a little bit more. So most of your product's going up where you first lay your brush down, and then as you get less product on the brush, you just drag it down. That's a little bit nicer, I think, going a little bit longer there. I'm just going over everything basically just with a really light hand. You're not really doing too much, but just making sure everything's really nice and quite blended. So there I can see that that's just not quite dark enough there, so I'm just going to take a little bit more. So I normally never put a primer underneath my eyes before I put the colour on, but today I'm going to try with the Vivid Violet on just a smudge brush. See how this goes. I just want to pop a little bit not too much. So far so good, that's gone on pretty well, very well. And I think I'll go in with a flat definer. This one's from Dose of Colours on the Lavender Honey. Pop that on the outer edge there. Actually, I should be going with Blueberry Swirl first, so I'll pop that in first. Sorry guys. Yeah, that's right. That's the right colour. Just make sure it sort of blends and matches up with that outside corner there. That's better. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm just going to switch to a MAC 221 and go in with the Lavender Honey. Just blend that colour out. Okay, so that's looking pretty blended there. And then I'll go back in with a Dose of Colours and the Berries and Cream and just very lightly right along the very bottom of everything. Wow, I really think that helps with the vibrancy of all those colours. That base is just beautiful. I really liked working with it. I found it actually easier to put the eyeshadow on for some reason, with it being coloured. Okay, so then I'm going to go into my Anastasia Moonchild palette or glow kit, and which I love, and there's a purple horseshoe colour there, which is a really light purple shimmery colour, on a Sigma pencil brush, just on the very corner there of my eye. Okay, so a little bit of eyeliner on the waterline. I'm going to use the Marc Jacobs eyeliner, gel eyeliner in Pink of Me. So I'm just going to go in and hit the eyebrows. So my Dipbrow pomade in blonde. And then I've started using the taupe more towards the tail of my brow there. So I find in photos especially the tail of my brow just seems to disappear. And then I'll switch to the taupe for the tail. It's not much different. Just a little bit darker. And just blend those two. Now what I have started using again is the Gimme Brow from Benefit in number 1. I used to use this years ago before it was just such a tiny little tube. It was a different shape. So I just want to try and put a little bit of that in there just to sort of separate those brows a little bit, and it does have a fibre in it as well. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do some mascara, some lashes, and come back and do some lippy. Okay, I'll go in with my MAC lip pencil in Naked, which is my holy grail lip pencil. And an old favourite, as you will have seen before, is my Anastasia Milkshake. Love this colour. The formula is just beautiful as well, and it does stay on my lips. I'm going to use my Tarte today, my Dewy Skin Mist, for luminosity. Give it a little shake, and I steer clear of my eyes. I don't want to ruin anything that I've done to my eyes today, or any day for that matter. So just a little bit. I want it to be dewy, but I don't want any of my oil to come through. The mist is so fine. It just gives you that little luminosity. It's beautiful. I really do like that. Okay, so that's it for today. What do you think of the purple? I actually do like it. Still don't like purple in general. but those colours are really quite nice. I do like it, and I really feel that that base helped immensely to keep that colour nice and vibrant. So if you liked the video today, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, share with your friends. Keep being the best version of you, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.